Hey guys, what's going on? Darrell Addison at Torpedopot.com, Darrell Addison, Torpedopot.com, and you're looking at our cucumber planters. We got about 90 of these planters. We put about, I don't know, maybe about 15 seeds in each planter, then we cut it back. There are probably 5 or 6 in each plants in each planter. And we expected them to generate a lot of cucumbers. And they turned out to be very abysmal. Just absolutely terrible. It's a horrible, horrible season with cucumbers. Now, with that being said, I want you to understand what's going on here. We grew 15,000 pea pods. We grew 3,000 tomatoes. We've already grown in 10 feet 600 okra, okay? So it's not our growing system that something's wrong here. What I want to bring to your attention is that these are genetically modified seeds. And so, let's take a plant off so you can take a look at it. I want you to really notice the difference. It's the difference between a plant that's dying because the environment is not nutritious. Maybe water is not available. We have a lot of water. Maybe the soil is not of this quality that it's looking for. And these planters right here, we've already grown 3,000 carrots. Oh, as a matter of fact, they're still growing. The seeds are still there. They just want to continue to grow, and I can't stop them from doing it. I love that. Isn't that beautiful? We're going to have that, eat that. So, what it is that these plants are not deficient from the soil. The environment is beautiful. So let's inspect them and take a look at them, okay? Because sometimes you're going to get plants that don't perform the way you want them to perform. And you have to understand that, how do I say this? Not all plants are plants. Sounds weird, isn't it? I would say something like that. So when I say that, that means the genetic structure that they've devised for the plant is not stable at all. So I don't know what you would call it. Would you eat this? No, I wouldn't eat that at all. It may turn out to be something, I wouldn't eat that. So let's take a look and find out what went wrong here. We have growth that is unbelievable, and we've seen it with all the plants. And we have lots of flowers and tons of flowers. At first we thought maybe it's the water. So we cut back on the water, because cucumbers don't like a lot of water. Well-drained soil. We cut it back, and they seem to be doing pretty good. The color was flashy, they was pretty good. I did a couple of videos on it. And let's take a look at the root system. Let's pull out the root system. Or a couple of them so we can see what's going on here. Let's try different planters so we can compare. There's one right here. Let's try this one. The roots look pretty good. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Wow, looks pretty good. Pretty well spaced. Looks like it's able to get nutrition. Looks pretty good. All right, looks very, very good. All right, now let's start taking at the leaves of this plant. I'm going to sit this down for a minute. All right, so if it were an insect attack, we would see a lot of eggs in these leaves. We don't see eggs. So we know that insects are not the culprit here. This is not the culprit. We don't have problems with insects. As a matter of fact, we have more pollinators. Torpedopot draws more pollinators in your area than you've ever seen before. It draws bees and everything else, and all of the squash bees and all of the animals to pollinate your plants. And it does a great job. We have hundreds of them flying around, and they leave, and it's just so beautiful to watch this grow. Well, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be there. Torpedopot is a self-growing planter. It waters and feeds your plants for you. You don't do that anymore. And in turn, you get beautiful fruit all the time. Now, this is a contradiction, right? I'm going to tell you why. So we don't see any bugs on these leaves at all, okay? Now, let's forget about the bugs. Let's start talking about mildew and fungal attacks. Fungal attacks that happen on your plants. And let's start to look at these. And basically, I see nothing in the root that would indicate that there's any type of attack on the root system. They look like they're branching out pretty well. They're doing pretty well. And the fact that we have, let me see here. Just want to make sure. Okay. The fact that we have pretty strong branching and long branches coming all the way down here lets us know that it was on its way. I mean, the growth was inherent. It was taking off. We don't see any bugs. Now, let's take a look at any fungal attacks on the plant. Okay, so what we're starting to see here is that there is a fungal. But the fungal attack that's happening in this case is because the plant is starting to die. It's exhibiting more decomposition features than it is growing features. The growing has ceased at this point. Not ceased, but it's still going on. The cells are still multiplying and developing. But for the most part, it stopped. So when it stopped, you'll find that this mold would take over. Now, you see it's an earlier mode, so it's not really built up into the leaf system at all. It's on the surface. So it's the decay happening on the surface. So we have to ask ourselves, then what really went wrong here? What would cause this to happen? Oh, these bees are now going to be out of a home. I got to be very careful. What happened here was that somebody did something genetically. We planted this last year, and last year the same thing occurred. We have other cucumbers, and then one Torpedopot will do 42 cucumbers. But in this case, we saw that it happened the season before this season, and we lost a lot of cucumbers in the same way. We realized that this is a genetically modified product. It's not in a stable state yet. They were trying to develop it in a stable state. They released the seeds thinking the seeds would do a great job, and they did not. No. So what I'm going to do now is that the soil in the planter is good, though. It's great soil. Oh, look at all these bees. Oh, my God. The soil in the planter is great soil. I don't have to worry about the soil. The soil is beautiful. It's still growing my carrots from earlier. All I have to do now is walk up to this planter, push seeds in, and the next crop takes off. This is beautiful, guys. This is great soil. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to disturb the pot. Not at all. I'll just come and pull all the plants off of it so I can start planting another crop. That's all I do. I do nothing else. So you guys can watch me clean the rest of these planters out. Is that okay? Okay. I'll just store that. Still blossoming, still doing what it needs to do. So Torpedopot's no joke, man. It grows your food. It's unfortunate if someone would sell something like this in the open marketplace so that people who come and want to grow food, it's beautiful, aren't able to fulfill their dreams. This soil is absolutely beautiful. Oh, guys, it's gorgeous. Man, beautiful. Not a happy moment for the insects. They love these plants. Oh my gosh, look at this carrot. Man, it's beautiful. Look at that carrot. That is beautiful, man. Wow. Dude, that's breakfast. Man, that's beautiful. By the way, guys, these are torpedo pots. They grow your food for you. You never have to grow your food anymore. You just put your seeds or your plants in torpedo pot, and they grow your carrots and everything else that you want to grow. Now, please understand, we've already grown 3,000 carrots in these planters right here. Yeah, we have multiple seasons of carrots. And so we're putting these cucumbers in here, but they're not performing. So I want to do either a couple of things. I'm going to put kale in this planter. I want to put some beets in this planter. I'm not sure which one I want to do. Maybe you can help me make my mind up. You are still in the same wavelength. Well, these bees are having a ball. Okay. Again, sad to say that things didn't work out the way we planned, but please understand, the world does not revolve around me or you. And it's best for us to understand the environment that we're trying to grow our food in so that we can be healthy and say great things about each other and enjoy life. So I just removed the crop. See how easy that was? What, 10-minute job? Could have done it in 5 minutes. It was done. The only thing I got to do right now is to put in my new crop. And you know what? I didn't carry my seeds out, so it's either going to be, we're going to put some peas in here. We can put beets in here. There's a number of things we can throw in these plants right now and still have them grow. One of the things I love to put in here is kale. So I'm going to go into the winter right now. And so I do need food, and kale will help me balance my diet out pretty well. Or give me those green leafy vegetables for the winter time. So kale is really what I want to put in here. I've got beets. And one planter, we're already growing about 50-something beets. And we got 3 or 4 planters. I got a lot of beets. But I love the leaves. The leaves are good too. But going into the wintertime, I think it's either going to be kale or something I want to show you. So I went and got some more cucumber seeds, and I brought them back. And I know we're not going to be in time to get the major harvest, but I want to show you the difference in a diseased genetic seed and a real genetic seed, and how they perform in the same environment with torpedopot. So you know what, I'm going to put that in just to tease you guys. I got to have my greens for the winter time. I'm hoping my tomatoes will end early and maybe I can throw some greens in there before the winter time. We've got okra growing in 10 feet. We've got about 600 okra growing in 10 feet. The okra is going 8 feet tall. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. Truly the Garden of Eden. Darryl Addison, torpedopot.com. Darryl Addison, torpedopot.com. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.